Welcome to the Zany Talks podcast. We have butter here today.
I didn't bring the bread nor the toaster, so we can't have butter bread.
Yes.
But we have butter.
We
Don't you mean buttered toast? Come on. God, you kids.
I like toast. Toast is good.
What is this youngin' talking about?
The only true young in here is him.
Fair.
I get it. I'm the youngest.
I blame my generation for this.
Okay, I'm about 5 months younger than you.
Got him.
And Scotty's the youngest.
Scotty is the child.
Yes.
Only by age. Because Eric is the child by behavior.
Yes.
So, welcome everyone
Yes,
to the
welcome
Zany Talks
after-
podcast.
Bickering.
We're getting off on a interesting tangent already that has nothing to do with today's topic. And
Yes.
to be honest, like normal, I have no idea what's going on. I'm just here.
That chaos rule.
Yeah.
But, gentlemen, as it is customary on this podcast, it's time to start off with small talk. So we have small talk to talk about.
I'm busy.
You guys catch the ball game last night?
There's a ball game.
I don't know. I don't watch sports.
Me neither. This is not the sports podcast. We would not have anything to talk about.
You said small talk, and when I think small talk, weather, ball game. Yeah. I'm not a people person. I don't talk to people.
Well, since one of the small talk topics is weather, it's a lovely day here out in Alexandria.
As
right
the
off
snow's
Broadway.
melting.
Yep, the snow is going away finally. We have nice, clear blue skies. It's a beautiful day out.
We'll be back next week.
Keep your mouth shut.
I'll be out in a goddamn field, and I swear to God, if it snows, I'm coming straight back here. And I am Space Marine 2 executing you.
We're talking some language. I'm not sure what that is.
We'll get to it.
It's okay, don't worry. Just as long as you don't get into the hobby and you have a small understanding of it, you're ahead of like 90% of the people.
Well, since we have nothing going on in our lives like usual, we'll jump into the topic because, well, that's what we want to get into. So today's topic is about the one hobby in this world that literally says the number of how much cash you will be spending on it. Warhammer 40k.
I wish I was joking.
With lore deeper than the Bible.
Honestly, yeah, because just before the Warhammer, there's actually 36 books called the Horus Heresy, which is what happens
is that
in the year 30,000.
Is that where the number 40 comes from?
No, the number 40 comes from because it takes place in the year 40,000. Currently, we're in the year 2000, so 38,000 years into the future.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In 40k's universe is messed up.
It's not messed up. It's just...
The way you say that makes me think differently.
It's not messed up.
What I'm seeing sitting in front of us makes me think differently.
Oh, yes. By the way, we have gracious... Thomas, help.
Graciously.
Thank you. Set up a nice third camera for you guys. The table cam. Which has the actual game pieces that Butter here has painted for us today.
Just a small part of them.
And this is your Space Marine Legion, right?
Yeah.
Or part of it.
Part of it. Well, this is... Yeah, there's only a couple models I'm missing, technically.
And the Legion you went with was Black Templars, if I was correct.
Yes.
I only know a little bit of the Legions and what they all do.
I don't know. There's some albino ones over there that I'm not sure what's
because
up
they
with
aren't painted. Okay, they're primed but not painted.
They're albino.
You would understand this going into the hobby, but people will have piles of gray shame, which is just unpainted minis.
Shame.
It is big shame, especially because you don't finish painting them, then you buy new models that you don't paint and assemble.
I don't know.
I have about 50, 60 models I need to finish painting.
What do you use them for?
Board games.
Oh.
What is the process of painting them? So obviously you have to prime them and stuff, but is there a certain...
Do
you have a microscope or like a
No.
magnification lens?
No. Some people may use that to like get some of the finer details, like... Well, yeah, I'm just gonna move it here. I'm not sure if it's in frame, but the shield.
Definitely in the frame.
Yeah, it's in frame. These cameras we use, like these are the cameras we use for D&D. These things have insane.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
so,
you,
yeah.
Elgato.
Yeah, that shield was hand painted by me. I kind of just guessed my way through, but you
Yeah,
can
that
use
makes
small tools.
Which is generally impressive of how much detail 40K fans can get into their models. I've seen people paint in a way to make it look like their paint is glowing, which is very impressive.
A good effect of that is, I don't know what I did to this man specifically, but he is extra shiny.
Oh yeah,
Compared to, like-
I can show you the camera.
He's extra shiny. I have no idea what I did to him, nor do I remember. But like compared to one of his
Can't
other
put a gloss
brethren,
coat on him and doesn't remember.
no, all of these guys are painted with the same batch of paint.
Interesting.
Like there's a different effect between the shiny and non-shiny. You can get him. Show Thomas if you want.
Okay. There you go.
Don't be afraid to be a bit rough with them. Just don't
Snack.
don't yeet them at a wall, please.
So if I remember right, I've seen a few things on Warhammer 40K and how they paint and stuff. But these come in individual pieces, don't they?
They come on a sprue that you have to cut out, read instructions, put some paint on, and slap them together, and then hope you put them on correctly, and hope you have enough glue to hold it. Once you're done assembling them, you can paint them like his, but it's generally recommended you prime them like I've done with the snipers. I primed them white to just help with, so that the next layers I put on it will be a bit brighter in hue.
There's also other reasons for primer, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, listen, me just silly dum-dum. I put
Is that a
spray
jetpack?
and I paint. No, that's just like the energy support.
Yeah.
I mean, it can
The
be
jetpacks
attached
are way
to a
bigger.
backpack. Yeah.
I was just wondering because it looks a lot like you would expect like a futuristic jetpack to be, because you have
No.
ventilation, you have directional ventilation there, which could be thrust. You have your main heat sink there as well, which if you have side ventilation might even need a heat sink.
Because that's just their backpack to power their power armor.
Yeah. And
This is like Fallout armor on steroids.
Space Marines. If you ever get into 40K, Space Marines are very mutated humans. Oh boy.
Yeah, they get like 8 of their organs replaced. I think they have 3 lungs, 2 hearts.
They get a lot of extra stuff.
Yeah.
They have like extra organs.
Yeah.
New modified organs.
Oh.
I believe one's an acid organ.
Yeah. Supposedly one's an acid organ that lets them spit acid. Another lets them eat the brain matter of the enemies to learn information. They can survive out in space for a short time in just their suits of armor. Actually, for a decent while. Not to mention the weapons that some of them carry. I literally shoot rocket-propelled 40mm.
Yeah.
That
The bolters?
will, yeah, that will go through armor and then explode.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
And
It's
then
really
that's-
mystifying
for that extra
process.
flair.
Yep.
You also have to remember that these guys are out on the battlefield too in armies, and then there's just these normal guys. The Imperial Guardsmen with their laser blasters.
Yeah, their las weapons.
That'd be terrifying living in the 40K universe and being an Imperial Guardsman.
Well, hey, the average lifespan's only like, well, lifespan on the battlefield is only 15 minutes. Average lifespan. So
I think they need to reevaluate their war strategy.
well,
Show them the Terminids or the
Necrons.
Necrons. Do you have a?
Yeah.
Do you have the bugs with you? Not the bugs, but the. Oh, what are they called? I forgot. Xenos?
Yes.
Yeah, the Xenos.
So
Imagine aliens, but on steroids.
Oh.
Okay. Here we go. I'm just bringing out a key.
They mutate so fast where they. Yeah.
Tyranids?
Yeah, Tyranids.
I don't have any Tyranids, but I do have a better faction, the Necrons. Now, these are some of the mechanical horrors that the Necrons have. This is a Scorpec Destroyer Lord.
So, show it to the camera.
He is a big guy. As you can see, he towers over humans and Space Marines alike. And the Space Marines stand approximately 8-9 feet tall. So you can just estimate about how big he is compared to us normal humans, which...
And Space Marines
Yeah,
live for
this
a
size.
very long time, too. Like, there's Space Marines that live to 300 or even more. Right?
Yeah.
Wow.
He can... I think the oldest living is 1,000 years. And that's Bjorn the Fell-Handed, a space wolf. Dreadnought.
Yeah. And then,
Well, I think he's been around long.
yeah, the Dreadnoughts are pretty much just walking...
Life support systems.
Yes. They usually, I believe, if I remember right, sleep in a coma for most of the trips and only get waken up for either giving advice or war.
Yes, because if they're awake for too long, they will go insane.
Interesting.
Who knew being locked in a metal coffin and being unable to blink would do that to someone's psyche?
Yeah.
I don't know. Just look at Daleks from Doctor Who.
That's not a good.
Yeah.
It's not a good comparison.
And these are the Necrons, correct?
Yes.
I believe the Necrons, they do experiments on humanity.
Only one of the named Necron characters do it. Illumina Xeris.
I was gonna say, are we just playing Helldivers now?
No, Illumina Xeris is a cryptech, which is essentially the magicians, advisors, scientists, the smart people of their society who don't want to rule, but will mess with the fabric of time. Specifically, chronomancers can actually travel back in time. They can see into the future briefly. There's a bunch of different cryptechs.
They're
And they
divination.
practice a bunch of
Divinators,
different,
basically.
bunch of different technomancies.
What are these? What is their role? Like what? Like I know that Space Marines are just kind of protecting humanity / conquering the whole universe at the same time situation.
Yeah. Well, in the 40k universe, the Necrons did just recently wake up. So they're not out in full force, but currently in the Necron faction, there is a civil war going on between the old ruler and his, I think it's his son.
The Space Marines are?
No,
Or
Necrons.
Necrons.
I think it's his son, or it's like his general.
Something like that.
Yeah. Imhotep the Stormlord and the Silent King.
Is he mute?
No.
Why is he called the
quite
Silent?
opposite.
Why is he called Silent?
I don't know.
Because everything goes silent before he strikes.
So he's an assassin?
He's more of one of the actual peaceful Necrons. He's worked with the Space Marines before, at least the Blood Angels.
Yeah, I know.
When he was talking to, I think it was Dante of the Blood Angels, he mentioned he had worked alongside Sanguinius. Whether or not that's true is
Debatable.
yet to be
Okay.
seen.
Question from a complete novice here.
Yes.
Where did 40k originate?
I don't know.
Like, are you talking about where it takes place?
No, like what's the original content for this battle-filled universe? Like, was it a show? Was it a game?
It is.
Was it originated like D&D, where it just here's a fun game?
Yeah, it essentially was that. It kind of just appeared. It was an idea, and they made it into something. Well, this has gone through a lot of revisions. Currently, we are in 10th edition.
This is starting to sound like WoW.
It has evolved a lot. I think it first came out in the 1990s, I want to say. Early 2000s.
Okay.
Actually, it was sub 2000s. I know at least. So this is old when it first came out. It's originated in the UK as well.
Interesting.
Which I'm kind of sad about.
39 books later, or more than 39 books later.
You're funny. 39. There you go. Oh, actually, it'll cost you more because it's painted.
Well, I meant books.
Oh, 39 books. Well, for the 30k universe. There's 26, 40k. I don't know how many books there are for 40k. There's probably a lot out there. A lot of side stories, side characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories. I know, like the Space Wolves, they make their own alcohol to get drunk, and if a simple human drinks it, they die.
Metabolism.
I'm pretty sure it's used to power the vehicle as well.
Yeah, let me just drink some jet fuel here.
Well, there's the different players in 40k. So you obviously have the Necrons, the Space Marines, the Tyranids.
Tyranids, yes.
You then also have the other two. I'm not counting the others. Just yet. The orcs, which orcs are fascinating. They imagine something and it comes true.
No, it's if enough of them believe in something, it'll happen because they're the de-evolved forms of quarks. I think I'm saying it wrong.
Are you talking about like science quarks?
No.
Okay, because that's a thing
these
too.
These things were taller than the Space Marines, and the orcs currently don't know how to use the power of like, hey, if we all believe in this, it'll come true. They're too dumb for that.
Yeah.
The quarks could do that willingly, though.
Mm.
Yeah.
They were smart enough to realize they had that power, and they were straight up terrifying. They were actually made to fight the Necrons, because the Necrons are older than humanity.
So you just got to be smart enough to trick them, and they'll will themselves out of existence.
That's what you'd hope, but they are belligerent and numerous.
Their spaceships don't have blast on them because they believe they can breathe in space.
And because they do, and because they believe it, it works.
Yep.
And the spaceships are just giant hunks of rock they have hollowed out.
Oh,
They
believe it can fly, so it does?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yep.
They literally just throw scraps together and all of a sudden it shoots.
The best part is certain colors will do certain things for them. They think blue's lucky. Purple's invisible?
Yeah, purple is very stealthy.
Is
So
red or white fast?
Red is fast.
Hot rod red.
What's white? Does white do anything?
God, I don't remember. I'm not an orc player, man.
It is pretty funny hearing memes about
No.
orcs, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's the one of the Imperial Guardsmen running out of ammo, and one of them just says, bang, and an orc falls down dead. So they all start saying, bang, bang, bang. But unfortunately, these group of orcs come crawling across the hill, and they go, bang, but nothing happens. And then they just hear a chanting of, I'm a tank, 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 I'm a tank.
As funny as that would be, I think the orcs would just be too stupid to actually pull something off like that.
Yep.
But I wouldn't doubt there's smart orcs out there.
You know, there's going to be the one orc that is going to, for some reason, just have a whole lot of pride. And stupid pride, too. He believes he's invincible.
It's not just based on one. He'd have to
Yeah.
have other people believe. So, like, if he kept winning fights without getting injured, then he could probably cement that, and he'd become tougher to kill.
And that happens, too. Like, Orcs are, I believe, choose
Talk
their
about-
leader
talk
over
about
tough, pretty much tough and
politics.
stuff like that.
Politics that actually change the reality of things. Just think if they were advanced enough to have that.
They were advanced enough to do that.
No, you said it was a different species and they
No,
were a de-evolved version.
Yeah, it was a different because they instead of evolving into something greater, they were at their apex and they've devolved.
Yeah.
So they were once called the Quarks. Then they just became.
That's not how species works. That's not
No,
how
these
genes
guys were
work.
created by the old gods of this universe before the
Yeah.
Necrontyr slayed them using their enslaved star gods.
Yep.
There's a lot of lore that ties into the old ones, the Necrontyr, and a couple of the other factions.
I see.
And then there's the newest players in Warhammer 4K, the
Tau.
the Tau. Which one of my favorite stories about the Tau is they took down a dreadnought once and then figured out it was 2,000 years old. Older than their society.
Ah,
What a shock that is.
this thing's old. We
Or
killed
the-
something that was here before us.
And was
Yep.
killing before we were here.
Yep. That's
Quite terrifying to think about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tau I want to say is the anime version, or anime, because their mechs just look straight out of an anime.
They do. I consider them space weeaboo communists because they're always talking about the greater good. I don't like that.
You don't like the Raider good?
No.
Oh.
No.
Considering their main way to get information is brainwashing worms.
Brainwashing worms?
Yes, they will. Have a creature that'll like dive into your self key and dig out information.
Oh,
And then they
using brainwashing worms.
Yes.
No, I thought they used worms and then brainwashed the worms.
No, they use brainwashing worms.
Brainwashing, okay.
No,
Somehow that's more believable.
Yeah, another good story. A space marine was being interrogated by a group of Tau, and he let them into his mind, and then I think he killed everyone in the room who had entered his mind.
Through his mind?
Yeah, through his mind, because his willpower was so strong. He killed everyone, and then he himself succumbed to his wounds. Which is... Once
No
again,
signs of battle, everyone's dead. What happened?
Space Marines.
Going back to the Space Marines and the human race themselves, how many different chapters of Space Marines are there officially? I know there's a few fan-made ones that everybody likes. I know a
That's
few
a tough
myself.
question.
There's Ultramarines, Black Templars, Space Wolves, Salamanders,
Well,
Blood Angels.
I'd say it's semi-hard to know what is how many there actually are, because I think canon-wise is like 20, 30 chapters officially. I want to say, I'm not entirely sure.
Mm-hmm.
There honestly is probably a lot more, but the main chapters most people know about are the 9 founding chapters: Ultramarines, Salamanders, Iron Hands, Dark Angels, White Scars, Raven Guard, Space Wolves. Come on.
And each of them has their nice little quirks.
Yeah. Each one does have their own little quirks and ways they like to operate. The Black Templars are constantly on crusade, recreating recreating the Emperor's crusade before he got killed, before the Horus Heresy happened,
Yeah.
which he set up part from Terra to go reclaim the universe because... Okay. See, it's hard to explain this without giving more backstory, but giving more backstory requires telling more backstory.
Yes.
So brief rundown. The humanity was in the Golden Age. Super advanced, faster than light travel, we basically owned the entire Milky Way universe and potentially those beyond it. The Age of Strife happened. Robots rebelled. The Men of Iron rebelled. And we entered the Dark Ages. A lot of technology was lost, and humanity was kind of shattered. Well, then the Emperor of mankind came along. He essentially reconquered Earth under one flag, made a pact with Mars, the tech priests of Mars, and then he started a great crusade to reunite all the planets that were under Earth's control. Yeah, essentially that's the best gist of it I'm gonna be able to give.
That makes sense now. That actually gives me a little bit more insight of like what other planets and how they became populated with somewhat humans, but they evolved to be different.
Yeah, depending on the environment. And because they control so many planets, the Imperium of Man controls so many planets, the average lifespan of the god of 15 minutes is pretty reasonable. Because if you take the standing army for each country we have on Earth, and that's about the amount you get from each planet. Not to mention the cities are built like hive cities, so it's layers built upon layers built upon layers. A small village is considered 30,000. That's a small village. Some of the bigger cities have also probably the same population as the entire world. And they'll have multiple of those cities built.
Yep.
So, population-wise, they can afford the bodies.
At the same time,
You want to know how they space travel?
yes.
I'll let you take this one away.
I would love to know the technical inclinations on how they travel through space.
They travel.
They don't.
Well, they can go through the galaxy normally, but the faster way is to go through the warp, which is essentially hell. So,
Pardon?
Yeah, so picture this. You're on your way to work, you're driving, and then you're like, God, I still have 10 years before I get to my destination. Let's go through the warp. Click. It's hell. In the warp, there's demons that reside there, and it's been said just looking upon a demon is enough to drive you insane.
So what I'm hearing is some sort of wormhole technology, but in the wormhole, it's hell.
Yes. Well, there is actual wormhole called the Webway, but the Webway and warp so closely coincide. The Webway is more of a faster, safer way to travel, but it's controlled by another force, the Eldari, and a couple other factions who have the hooks in it. But as of right now, humans use the warp. Now, humans also have Geller fields, which keep the demons out, keep the warp out of the ship. But occasionally, those fail and they will be boarded by demons of many different sizes and calibers.
And then there's also the Chaos Gods. That's the whole other part that I do not count as players of them. Because, yes, they're technically our players, but they're just...
Well, it's a lot simpler to play Chaos, you know? You just pick one technically Chaos God you like. Korn, the god of blood and skulls. Slanesh, lust and... God, there's not just lust, there's... willing to, like, have something.
Greed? And,
Envy.
Greed, all of those, like, personal gain.
Yeah.
Zinch, the god of change. He's not a cool dude, he just likes fucking with people. He pushed one of his own followers into a well to see what would happen. He then came out with another head. And is insane. And then Nurgle,
I need to
The
stop
god of
questioning
disease and
things,
decay.
otherwise I'm gonna topple this entire 40k universe by
Yeah.
finding one inconsistency.
You're gonna find a lot of inconsistencies. It's a
Yeah,
big universe.
And then I believe there's another one possibly. I believe the Towel have one. But that's yeah. Because they got created, I think, when they used the warp for the very first time.
I think it was. They used the warp for the first time, and their belief in the greater good made an entity that represented the greater good. Because
Why not?
why not?
A
Enough faith
living
in
trolley problem.
It kind of is, but then again, some people speculate that the Emperor, after he died, is also
Chaos God.
not a chaos god, but he does have
Powers of one.
the powers of the warp, because he has been known to intercede. Like there was one time he burned down half of Nurgle's garden with Babute Gilliman, the Primarch of the Ultramarines. With the help of the Emperor, burned down half of Nurgle's garden. Which I say garden, but it's just a land of disease and decay and illnesses and poisons.
That's not a garden?
But to the god, the Nurgle, the god of death and decay, it is his garden. It is perfect. Nurgle's way of showing his loving for you is...
I give you cancer.
Cancer would be a kind of thing he could give you.
Yeah, I know.
He would give you the bubonic plague mixed with... on steroids.
Yes, and
As-
as easy
as
to think
an
of on
appetizer.
steroids.
Like
I see.
his followers of Nurgle will often refer to him as Grandfather Nurgle because he is one of the kinda chaos gods. He will take care of you, and then when you normally affects people who are close to death, he'll keep them alive longer. But you'll start to rot and
Decay.
disease and pus.
Isn't
And
there...
maggots will start like eating away at you.
I thought like Nurgle was possibly married, forced marriage or something, to a god or a chaos god that like helped heal the space marines.
No,
and
that
get
was
them
one
alive
of
or
the Eldari's gods. I don't remember her name. But she was captured by Nurgle, and she's the Eldari god of medicine and healing. So, Nurgle, lovingly, will test his poisons and his diseases on his wife. Constantly.
Okay.
But because of that, she's also able to help Veldai and the Imperium of Man by telling how to cure it. So
Interesting combo of that relationship.
Yeah.
well, she's like I said, she's captured. There's been depictions of her just chained and being tested on, and not all too good to think about. I think there was an attempt to rescue her, and that's when Ubute Gilliman and the Emperor, in spirit form, I guess you could say. The Emperor wasn't actually there because he was dead at that time.
Yeah, the Chaos Gods call, I believe, the Emperor the corpse.
Yeah, the corpse god, because once the Emperor died, humanity was put him on a throne that's technically keeping his body alive. But the
It's alive, no one's home.
Yes. Well, that's up for a theological debate because people now the Imperium considers the Emperor the God Emperor of mankind. They revere him as a god because of everything he did and the stories told about him, which makes sense.
Yeah, he's come to a few Space Marines. I believe in the latest video game of 40k, Space Marines
so
2.
it's not just a board game?
Oh no, there's
there's-
books, games. I believe there's a few
Yeah, there's a few video games. There's a couple side genres to 40k. You got Kill Team, which is Warhammer 40k is focused on a big group of a large army. It's more of like
You have a squad.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we didn't even
you-
get into the adaptive Objectus Mechanicus.
We don't need to. They are a lot.
That's for next time.
They love toasters. I'll leave it at that. No, but this would be your kill team. Each one has its own health, and you move it to capture objectives and take out enemy control teams.
Yeah. This back here, if the camera can see it.
Yeah. I'm just gonna slide this back and put it back.
That's
Yeah.
your team.
This is actually the size of a kill team that you could use.
So it's
Is
more
it
of
usually
a Warren strategy.
Adeptus
Yeah.
Mechanicus people that are a kill team, or
What?
the Adeptus Mechanicus, is that just usually the
Yeah,
makeup of a kill team?
That's about you. There's a couple of melee variants you can get in as well, but for the most part, you can just use this as a kill team, and you're all good. But yes, it is more strategically involved. Warhammer 40k is turn-based, so I have my turn, you have your turn.
Yeah, turn-based
Yeah.
war strategy.
Kill
Yeah.
team is, this is you, this is me. Let's say I have 2 guys left, you have 1 guy left. I have this dude shoot you and whatnot, and then capture the objective. Then it's your turn to activate a troop. So then you could activate, like, if you had a sniper over here, you could activate him to shoot, or you could activate him to move, and then let's say you moved him to there. It'd be my turn to activate the troop, so since he was already activated, I can't activate him again, and then I'd activate someone else
Okay.
to do it. So it's a lot of back and forth, but because since it is smaller, there are a lot more rules.
Oh no. Man down.
I'll get him later. He's fine. The Emperor
Well,
protects.
let's see.
We have
He's
a
above
few
average
minutes
on the lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Space Marines last longer than standard.
Yeah, I believe every 100 years they get a pin shoved in their head.
Maybe. I think so.
Huh?
But
I believe there's, if you look at a Space Marine's head, and if they have like a round ball stamped into it, that's 100 years of service.
Yeah. But the Imperium of God,
So
Not
something
this-
tells me they're all masochists, or they just can't feel pain.
no,
Yeah.
they're just
It might be a legion of masochist Space Marines. I don't know for sure.
there probably is probably one of the chaos ones.
Yeah, there's a few. The Salamanders, they're pretty much the most human of Space Marines.
Yes, they will go out of their way to save the human population. Like, even if a good representation of this is in the book Hell's Beach. The Salamanders land in a hive city that's being defended by Black Templars, and instead of pushing forward to kill the enemy warlord, the Salamanders fall back to protect the humans from any potential attacks from other sectors. Even though going forward and killing the enemy warlord would have stopped all future attacks, they did not, and the Black Templars, not having enough men to complete the mission, had to retreat. They then suffered, I want to say, 8 more attacks throughout the night and lost 2 to 3 people, including 2 of their own Salamanders, and wasted ammo that they were in dire need of, because in a long war of attrition against the orcs, it's going to get rough if you don't have ammo to shoot them. The orcs love being in melee combat.
Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
See, you can only say bang so fast. And even, I think that whole bang bang story is just a joke.
It is a joke. It's still funny though.
It's funny to think about, and that maybe somewhere.
Let's just shoot them with blanks.
You're more likely to fool them with blanks than
Yeah.
just saying bang.
I don't think you'd actually fool them at all, because they're just going to keep coming if they don't get shot.
Okay. Couple of those blanks aren't blanks.
Ah,
Kind of like a tracer round.
maybe you could keep them off, but when orcs want a fight, they will just charge at you with
Make them fight a
reckless-
hologram.
They. I guess that could work. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know too much lore about how many battles the orcs have fought, and if humanity has decided to use holograms.
40k is so big, it's hard to
know
figure-
really what's
yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what they all represent, and that's about it.
There's a couple of cool stories here in between about each different faction.
Space wolves. They're
Space Vikings.
Yes, space Vikings.
Are they
They're either
humanoid or are they actually wolves?
Humanoids, but they have a curse that they will transform into werewolves.
So they're Lycans.
Yeah, if they get too far away from their home planet, there's a more likely chance of them transforming into Fenriers. So they're space furry Vikings.
Yeah. So my favorite part of their story is, I believe their Primarch got so drunk, he threw his spear, and a whole Space Marine Legion had to go find it.
I think I remember that story.
That seems like a backwards game of fetch.
It is. They are very wolf-like in all the characteristics.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They are furries.
Though it is pretty funny because Ultramarines, they're just like they're decent about everything.
Yeah, they're the poster boys of the 40K universe. They're not bad, but they're not good. Not bad at anything, but they're not really good at anything.
Yep. And then you have the Blood Angels. They fly. They like flying.
They like getting into combat.
They're
also fine pursuers of fine art. And
really?
Yeah,
I don't know that.
they are more artistic of the Space Marine bunch. They like painting and sipping fine wine in the evening upon a void ship.
They're the aristocrats.
Yes, except they're vampires.
Okay, that explains everything.
Some of them are vampires. You have the Blood Drinkers, which are not a Chaos faction. They are a Loyalist faction, which is surprising enough given their name. Oh, and you get the Flesh Tearers, also a Loyalist.
You also have the Space Marine Legion that just likes going fast.
The White Scars.
It's the White Scars. They just go fast. They just like it.
Speed.
They want to kill things as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Efficient.
Yes, they just like speed.
They're fast boys.
Interesting.
They're like fast attacks.
And we haven't even got into some of the ranks of the Imperial Man. Like there's Adeptus Mechanicus. There's
the Adeptus Subortus.
Imperial Guard. There's
the Astra Militarum. You have the Imperial Knight. You have the Adeptus Titanicus.
Yeah, we didn't even
I think that's it for the main factions. Then you have Space Marines. They're just considered a whole with the different chapters.
They're the human type race.
No, the Imperial Guard is the human type.
Yes.
The Imperial Guard is just the army. It's just...
Okay. What is a Space Marine? Where is their origin?
They are young humans who have been trained and have been genetically altered and have organs put in their body.
Okay, so they originally were human.
They originally are human, but most Space Marines don't consider themselves humans anymore, and they will look down upon... Some Space Marines will look down upon humans for being weaker.
Yeah.
Humans aren't dangerous physically. Everyone should know this by now. We're dangerous because we think.
Yeah, except these guys can think too. They have fast reflexes. They're super soldiers.
Yeah.
On cocaine.
So yeah, you have most Space Marines that will look down on it, but like the Salamanders, they don't really look down on humanity, as far as I know, because they'll protect them.
Yeah, they're
and
more.
Salamanders will actually go back to their families. They get paid. They get vacation time.
Technically, all Space Marines get vacation time. It's just the fact that Salamanders have more family-wise. Most Space Marines will use it for training or meditating. At least the Black Templars will. Not sure about other factions. All other factions are lame. Black Templars are the only cool faction of Space Marines.
Space Vikings will obviously
fight him.
No.
Fight him down in the comments.
But gentlemen, I'm sorry, we're gonna have to cut you off there because our time has come. We have to end the podcast, and
no,
we'll have to come back to this conversation if we like, because we've just the tip of the iceberg.
We haven't
40K.
scratched the surface from what I can tell, and I know nothing.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to learn more, just so I can find some flaws and find the flaws in it, because there are bound to be so many flaws.
Read the books.
No.
Try playing the game.
No.
No. You want to know the flaw? This dude fires a ray out of his gun that technically deatomizes
Yep.
what it shoots.
It deatomizes the own projectile?
No, it deatomizes what it hits.
Okay.
Like, it breaks you down to a molecular level, leaving you naught but dust on the battlefield.
So it basically demagnetizes the protons and electrons.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And this gun on the tabletop can barely kill this thing.
That doesn't make much sense.
It does not. Oh, by the way, this has more wounds in the game than this. This has 1, this has 2. Tell me, how does that work? I mean, I kind of get it with the armor, but like, it's stupid.
Okay.
The board game is not very up to lore. If it was up to lore, Necrons would have to be banned just because they're too strong.
They need to be banned.
Like,
Anyways, Butter, it was nice having you on the podcast. We'll have to have you back.
yeah, there's
Sometime.
a lot more to really talk about. My best way of getting into it is reading into a faction that you might like. There's like 30 different factions out there, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Find a faction you like and start reading their lore, and then you'll eventually branch out into others' lore. This is just a general overview of some of the factions. We didn't even get into the Imperial Guard, which have too many regiments and too many people.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
we'll see you all next week, which will probably be a matter of minutes for us. But we'll see you next week. You'll have a nice time.
This has been Zane Talks.
Bye-bye.